All right, hello everybody and welcome. Thank you so much for coming along to join us tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Chelsea McGill. I'm a Thermomix consultant and team leader. I am team leader of the Terminators. We are a team based in kind of like Southeast Victoria, heading out to Gippsland, but with consultants that join us from lots of different parts of Victoria and a couple from interstate, which is really, really cool. So a big thank you to my team for inviting you all along tonight and coming along. Thank you so much for coming along to our virtual cooking experience. So my aim tonight is to show you guys just how incredible our TM6 is. So some of you may already have a TM6, some may not, some might be seeing it for the first time. Some are here to learn some tips and tricks, and I'm really hoping to cover all of those bits and pieces for you tonight. I would absolutely love if you could please stay on mute tonight, just because when you come off mute, it does cause quite a bit of background noise for the other people. But I would absolutely love you to interact with me tonight using our chat box below, or with your consultant that invited you along tonight, maybe in a group chat with them or a single chat, whatever it is. So I'm going to ask you guys lots and lots of questions tonight, and I would love to see lots of responses, as I said, coming through to the chat here with me or going through the chat to your consultant. So I'd love if you could pop a hi in the chat box below, just so I know that you guys are here tonight. And if you do already have a Thermomix, let me know which model you have. And if you don't, pop that in the chat as well and let me know. Help me get to know you guys a little bit better. Keep those comments coming, guys. All right, so keep those comments coming into the chat box, and I am to get started. So we're going to do 2 dishes tonight, and we're going to do a little bit of chatting about our TM6. And like I said, please ask me lots and lots of questions. Ask them to your consultant in that chat, whatever's easier for you tonight. So tonight we're going to do a chicken teriyaki stir fry using our incredible high heat mode. And we're also going to make some roti bread and some wraps. So I'm going to show you how to use one recipe to make 2 different things for your family. I just saw Beck's comment upgraded to a TM6, and I love it. Love hearing that. Thank you, Beck. Big thank you to all of you that invited some friends along to join us tonight as well. So again, I am Chelsea McGill, Thermomix consultant and team leader. I have been a consultant for just over 3 years now, and a team leader for coming up to 3 years now, but I have actually owned a Thermomix for about 9 years. So you might pick up on the gist tonight that I do absolutely love my Thermomix. I'm a little bit obsessed with it, and I really enjoy getting to put on these cooking experiences for you guys to help you see just how amazing our TM6 is. So I would love to know, and as I said, pop it in the chat here with me or with your consultant. What was your intention tonight? What piqued your interest in coming along tonight? Pop it in the chat and let me know. While you're there, I would also love to know, do you or anybody that you're cooking for have an allergy or intolerance? Pop that in the chat and just help me get to know you a little bit better. So over here we have our TM6. So this one really is our best Thermomix yet. So our TM6 is about to turn 3 years old, and it truly is the best Thermomix we have ever seen. So as I said, I have owned one for about 9 years, and I did own the TM31, and then I got myself a TM5, and now of course I have the TM6. So our TM6 is so incredible because it has the ability to connect up to your Wi-Fi, and through your Wi-Fi you can access Cookie, which is over here. So Cookie is our recipe platform. So Cookie is the most incredible platform that has over 80,000 recipes from all around the world. So you can see here today, hello Chelsea McGill, what would you like to cook today? And then we can scroll on down. We've got our latest recipes, our most cooked, and some other bits and pieces. Now down here, where do we go? Our most cooked. This is one of my favorite places to look at because our most cooked here changes every few days depending on what people all around Australia are making in their Thermomix. So I love that we can come down here and get a little bit of inspo with our new recipes. Our most cooked today are our cheese and bacon scones, our poached eggs using the blade cover, and the celery leaf gremolata, I hope I said that right, which are some of our newest recipes on Cookie Do. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about Cookie Do throughout the night tonight, but again, if you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat box. I do struggle to see the chat box while I'm doing this. They kind of flash on by. So if I miss a question, I am sorry, but my team are on and they will help answer any questions for me. Here you see we have our manual mode. Now, our manual mode is where you can cook anything you like. So you can set your time, temperature, and speed and cook a recipe that you found on the internet, your favorite recipe that you normally make on the stove, whatever it is you can make here. Then when we swipe across this way, we have our modes. So we have over 20 different modes and functions in our TM6. Some of them you can see here. We have our scales, we have a dough mode, a turbo, a self-clean. Yes, it cleans itself, everybody. A blender, an egg boiler, a kettle, a reheat mode, a thicken, a rice cooker, fermentation, slow cook, sous vide, and we also have a peeler attachment now as well, which peels your vegetables. So you can peel up to 800 grams of veg, like potatoes, carrots, beetroots, in just 2 minutes, which is amazing. So I would love to know it again. Pop them in the chat here and help us get to know you a little bit better. I'll pop them in the chat with your consultant. But I would love to know, when it comes to food and cooking in general, what is most important to you? Is it healthy, simple, fast, creative, or saving money? So again, we've got healthy, simple, fast, creative, and saving money. Pop them in the chat here or pop them in the chat with your consultant and help us get to know you a little bit better. Now, for those of you that don't yet have a TM6, the price of our TM6 is $2,359, and it does include all of these amazing options, accessories that you see here today. So we have this one here, which is our Varoma. So this is our steaming attachment. Now, I get asked a lot if this comes with your Thermomix, and it definitely does. The Varoma is an amazing attachment. We're not actually going to be using it tonight, so I'll give you a little bit of a rundown about it. But your Varoma more than doubles the capacity of your Thermomix. So if you're cooking for a crowd, it's fabulous. It is also so versatile. So you can do things like, think unfried rice, a whole chook, meat and veg, just veggies. You can do desserts and puddings and steamed breads, and like the list just goes on and on and on, which is really, really cool. So the Varoma, you get that simmering basket, the splash guard, the spatula, butterfly whisk, a measuring cup, and you do also get a hard copy of that basic cookbook as well. Now, we do have lots of different payment options to help you get a Thermomix on your bench if that is what you choose to do. Now, my favorite is that you can do what we do and you can actually join our team. So we all absolutely love what we do. I was a hairdresser for 17 years, and last year I was able to retire from hairdressing and concentrate solely on my Thermomix business, which has been amazing. Some of the beautiful ladies in our team just do this as a bit of a side gig, something a little bit different. So everybody's different, but it is a really great way to get a Thermomix on your bench, and we do have a lot of fun along the way as well. Then we also have our interest-free finance. So we currently have 36 months interest-free finance running, and that one brings the cost of your Thermomix to just $16.97 a week, which is about $2.30 a day, which is about half the cup of a takeaway coffee. Now, you might have noticed if you follow any of us on social media that we've been focusing on how you can save money with a Thermomix, and there are so many incredible ways to reduce your grocery bill by far more than $16 a week to help cover the cost of that Thermomix. So that is a brilliant option for you as well. We do have a couple of different payment options, but we are going to move on and we will come back to those in a little bit. But again, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat box here or pop them with your consultant and we will answer them as soon as possible. Love seeing some of those options coming in. We've had healthy, we've had quick, which is great. Can you excuse me for 1 sec? My dog is just out the front. Sorry, I left the gate open and she was just hanging in the front yard. All right, so Cookie Doo has a meal planning function, which is just amazing. And we will talk about that in depth in a little bit. But you can see here in my week, we have my dishes that I have added in there. So we have our chicken teriyaki, which is our main dish tonight, which is like a stir fry. Then we also have our flour tortillas, which are going to be our roti and our wraps. So you can click on this one and this takes us into our guided cooking, and you're going to hear us talk quite a lot about guided cooking tonight. So guided cooking is such a game changer, and for any busy person, it is your best friend. So here we have our flour tortillas. Scroll your finger up the screen, difficulty, prep, total time, and portions. And then we have our ingredients here, our steps, all of our nutritional value, and then any hints and tricks down here as well. So when we hit the start cooking button, it takes us over to our first step. And we're going to take off our lid and we're going to add in 500 grams of baker's flour. So you can see our TM6 has our built-in scales. Now you will notice that I'm one of the messiest cooks you'll ever meet, so please excuse me throwing flour everywhere. And just watching our scales count up over here. I went a little bit over, but that is totally fine. Don't stress about that. Hit that next button, and it wants a teaspoon of salt. I'm not much of a measurer. I'm more of a throw it in kind of cook. This salt's coming out very slowly. I'm not putting in as much as you would think. And then we're going to put in some baking powder. So it does want a teaspoon of baking powder. So you'll notice with these wraps or roti, there is no yeast in them. They are a yeast-free option. So it is quite quick, no waiting for it to prove. And it does just use that small amount of baking powder. Now it wants us to put our lid on. And now this is the best thing about our guided cooking, guys. It sets our time for us. And if you're cooking, it will set your temperature for you. So 10 seconds. And then down here it says turn speed selector to 3. So I'm just going to turn that dial around until we get to number 3. And then hit that next button. And we have just mixed our dry ingredients together. Just really nicely like that. And we're going to add in 80 grams of light olive oil. Now this one, light olive oil is light in taste. It's not light in calories or anything like that. So the light olive oil with the taste, if you use a heavy olive oil, the flavour will be too strong. It can be quite overpowering. So definitely recommend using a light olive oil for that one. Grapeseed oil would work as well if that's something that you've got in your cupboard already. Then 250 grams of warm water. Again, just utilising those scales. And then we're going to put our lid on. Next again. And then this one here is our kneading function. So we've got 2 minutes on our timer and our kneading mode. So I hope you can still hear me okay over our kneading function. So 2 minutes of kneading in your Thermomix is the equivalent of 20 minutes of kneading by hand. So I know personally for me, I wouldn't spend 20 minutes kneading something by hand. But I would love to know, have you ever made bread before by hand? Bread, dough, pizzas, any of those kind of things? Have you made them by hand before? Or if you have a Thermomix, are you making them in your Thermomix currently? Pop it in the chat here with me or with your consultant. So we've just got 1 minute to go there, and you might notice that we've got our glider board under here. So this one here is our Thermomix glider board, and these are new. And for those of you that invited some friends along tonight, you will have an opportunity to get yourself a glider board very cheap or free, which is fabulous. They are worth $150. Now you'll notice when it's on its glider board, the Thermo rocks a little bit, which is really normal when it's kneading, but it doesn't move anywhere around the bench. So your glider board protects it. And it also means that I can pick up my Thermomix and I can move it around the bench like this, which is really great. So thank you again to those people that invited some friends along tonight, and that is one of our brilliant host rewards. Now, if you do decide you would like to host your own cooking experience, either in person or virtually, you will also get your chance. You'll get your chance to get your hands on one of these glider boards or some of our other amazing host rewards. We've got 10 seconds left there. Beck says she loves making bread by hand when she has time, which is never. I understand that feeling. Victoria makes it all the time in her thermo, which is great. So in just 2 minutes, our thermo has done all of that kneading. And as I said, that's the equivalent of about 20 minutes of kneading by hand, which is just amazing. Doesn't that look fabulous, guys? All right. So here we have our Thermomat, which is another one of our great host reward options. So this one is a fiberglass silicone mat, and it is perfect for proving doughs, shaping doughs, rolling doughs, all of those things. So you want to tip your Thermomix upside down onto your mat, and you want to twist your blades backwards and forwards from the base, and you'll feel it get looser and looser until your dough has dropped off. And there we go, we've got all of that dough off those blades. And then we're just going to shape into a ball. Now, if you do get some dough stuck to your blades, that is really normal. A really great trick that you can do, pop your bowl back on and flick across into the modes that I showed you to get into earlier. And we want to hit our turbo mode. So then you do 1 second of turbo and it will blast all of that dough or cake mix or sauce, whatever it is, off your blade so you're not wasting any, which is great. And if you click your little bookmark, it'll take you back where you left off. So transfer onto a silicone bread mat or a floured work surface and shape into a ball. Wrap dough in silicone bread mat or place in a bowl and cover with a kitchen towel. Leave to rest at room temperature for 15 minutes. So we're just going to wrap that up like this, and this is perfect to help keep that heat in. Like I said, there is no yeast in this, so we're not waiting for it to rise, but we are just resting. So we're going to pop that one to the side. And then the amazing thing about guided cooking is that it walks you back through your recipe step by step. So divide into approximately 16 portions and rolled out into circles, 25 centimetres in diameter, dusting with flour as needed. Place a large heavy base fry pan over medium heat. Place 1 tortilla into pan and fry it for approximately 1 minute or until tortilla bubbles and starts to brown. Turn over, transfer somewhere to keep warm, repeat and serve warm. So it literally takes you through step by step exactly what you need to know. So while we let that rest, I'm going to swap the bowl I prepared earlier. And we're going to jump over to our next recipe. So we're going to click back into our weekly planner, so into my week, and we're going to click on our chicken teriyaki. So I'd love to know if you do have a Thermomix, have you made this meal before? Or if you don't have a Thermomix, is stir fry something that you are making at the moment? And if you are you somebody who buys like a packet sauce or do you make your own? Pop it in the chat here with your consultant and let us know. So again, remember you can drag your finger up the screen and see all of your steps, ingredients, get all prepped and ready to go. Now our first step is 10 grams of olive oil, which we are going to place into a bowl. And of course, I'm almost out of olive oil. Let me off that. Right, and then it wants 250 grams of boneless, skinless chicken thighs cut into strips. So here is some chicken that I prepared earlier. Now it does use thigh because it is a stir fry, so it comes out a little bit juicier than your breast does. We are going to pop this in. Now it wants 250, but I'm going to go a little bit over. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to do 350. Because, guys, it is guided cooking. It is not set in stone. So you know that you can make changes to suit you and your family. Just when you're cooking meats, be wary not to go too far over because it can affect your cooking time. But by popping in a little bit extra is not going to hurt at all. So we're going to put our lid on and it's now asking for our splash guard. So we're going to put our splash guard on here and click done, letting it know that it's there. So this was one of those accessories that you get with your TM6. And this is letting us know we're going into high heat mode. So we've got 5 minutes on our timer. We're going on maximum temperature and we've got no speed on this, just our heat dial there. So we are going to start cooking that chicken. Now, I know when a lot of people think of Thermomix, they might think that it only makes mushy food, that it makes things like, you know, bolognese and soups and that. And I know stir fry is not something that always comes to mind. So I love that we have chosen this dish to show you guys tonight because like I said, our TM6 really is our most incredible Thermomix yet, and it has that amazing high heat mode. So our high heat mode goes 40 degrees hotter than the older Thermomixes, so the TM5 and the TM31, which means it can get up to about 160 degrees. And at 160 degrees, it can essentially mimic your fry pan. You'll hear soon that it gets really, really hot. It takes a minute to hear when we're on Zoom. It gets really, really hot quite quickly. The blades spin and then the blades actually stop spinning to give it a chance to brown, braise, caramelize, do all of those really beautiful things that your fry pan can do that the older model Thermomixes had never been able to do before. So I know in the past I had spoken to people who had the older model thermos, and as I said, I had both of them, and they loved it, but they did think that it could almost steam their food rather than, you know, saute it. So this is one of those things that they did add in after people had asked for it, and it is an absolute game changer. So with the high heat mode, you can do things like saute, caramelize, braise, brown. So think like caramelized onions and capsicums for salads and pizza toppings. And then, you know, being able to stir fry meat, you can do like taco mince, fajitas, gyros, all of that great stuff that you would do on your stove as well. We do have that inbuilt slow cooker, so you have the ability to braise your meat or brown it before you start your slow cooking process. So the TM6 really helps to build on that flavor, which is something that, as I said, some of the older Thermomixes couldn't do before. So it is such a favorite of mine. You can see that we get this beautiful, like steamy, kind of almost smoky stuff coming out of the top there, which is really cool. And you'll hear that the blades have stopped spinning. So it is normal for those blades to stop spinning, and then they will turn again every, say, 30 seconds or so to make sure that it's not burning, and then go back to that sauteing and browning, which is really, really cool. I'm just going to pop my kettle on, so just give me 1 sec. So we've got 2 minutes left over here. So I'd love to know, what kind of things are you guys making on the stove at the moment? Pop in the chat box and let us know here or with your consultant, and give us a couple of suggestions that you are cooking in your on your stove at the moment. Or if you do already have a TM6, what kind of things are you making using that high heat mode? Is it something that you have tried before? Now, I've just realised I forgot to grab my thermo server, so just bear with me, guys, for 1 sec while I grab it, because I want to show you how we're going to cook some noodles to go with this beautiful dish as well. Sorry about that. I did grab one thermo server, but I am going to use both of our thermo servers tonight. So your thermo servers are an insulated dish that you pop. Yeah, how good is that steam? So good when it comes out. So your thermo servers are your insulated dishes that keep your food at the temperature it goes in at for up to 2 hours. So it can keep your main meal hot, it can keep your sides hot, it can keep your desserts cold, frozen, whatever it is, for up to 2 hours, which is amazing. Our thermo servers are also some of our amazing host rewards that we were talking about earlier. So again, for those of you that did invite some friends along, or for those thinking about hosting their own cooking experience, you will be able to get a choice of our beautiful oval. We've got our round as well. So here is our round thermo server. We're going to cook some of our vermicelli rice noodles to go with our teriyaki tonight. Sorry, just trying to get the right angle for you guys. So using tongs, it wants you to transfer chicken into a thermal serving bowl. Now I have noticed that it is just slightly undercooked in 1 or 2 spots, and that may be because I did add that little bit of extra chicken. It may also be that I'm a bit of a lazy cutter, and I did cut it a little bit thicker than what the recipe asked for. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit my back button. Now again, guys, guided cooking, not set in stone. If you have made some changes, run with the punches, hit that back button if you need. And I'm just going to go another minute 30 on my timer, and that's going to cook that chicken perfectly for me. So while that's going, we're going to grab our thermoserver. And because our thermoserver keeps the food at the temperature it goes in at for up to 2 hours, it does mean that we can cook things like noodles in our thermoservers instead of having to boil them on a pot. So I'm not going to do them all. I'm just going to do one of my packets, one of my, I don't know what you want to call it, one of the little things of noodles. And then I've got my boiled kettle. Got stuff to my thing. And I'm just going to pour some boiling water over the top. And then we're going to put our lid on. Give them a little bit of a stir. And as I said, because it keeps the food at the temp it goes in at, it's going to keep that water at our boiling temp for that couple of minutes to cook those noodles perfectly. So I love to use these to cook my kids 2-minute noodles if they want a really quick lunch. Sorry, I got some noodles stuck to my lip. If they want a really quick lunch, but they are perfect for keeping all of those sides hot and main dishes, all of those different things. So we're just going to pop these over here for a minute. There we go. Now that is perfect. Now we have cooked that chicken. Now that chicken has kept its shape perfectly. You can see we've got little bits of browning going on the edge, some of the bits of our chicken, which is great. And we've got some beautiful caramelization starting on the bottom of the bowl there. You see we've got those pan juices just like you would get in the stove, which is really cool. So using your tongs, just transfer chicken into a thermal serving bowl or other large bowl, retaining any cooking juices in the mixing bowl. So we are going to pop our chicken in. Now, I love that these recipes literally step you through every step. So for someone who doesn't really like cooking, that, you know, and you don't pride yourself on being a fabulous cook, it's awesome. Or if you are a fabulous cook, like I said, it's guided cooking. So do what you want to do. Either way is great. So I've kept those pan juices in there. And we're going to pop that lid on the oval thermoserver, and that is going to stay warm while we move on to our next step. So it wants us to scrape the base well to remove any of that caramelization. And then it wants 30 grams of echallots cut into slices. Just grab my tray from the other side. Now, because this is a stir fry, I did cut these up before, so I've just cut these roughly into slices. Now, the Thermomix can definitely do a lot of your chopping for you. For your smaller chopping, 100%, it can chop a whole onion in just 3 seconds. So pop it in the chat and let us know, are you a crier when you chop an onion like me, or do you not mind your eyes of steel? 100 grams of red capsicum, just cut into strips. 50 grams of carrot. I'm just throwing in. I guessed all of these, and I've been almost spot on with all of them, which never happens. So that's nice. 30 grams of snow peas. I've just got some sugar snap peas. And I've gone a little bit over there, but that's fine. And then some broccoli. So as I said, this is a stir fry. So you've got those beautiful stir fry veg going in. And then a little bit more olive oil. Now, you don't need to worry too much about the extra olive oil if you don't want to, because you do have those beautiful juices in there. So you're not going to burn it in this step. All right. Lid back on, splash down back on, letting it know we are done. We've got another 5 minutes on our high heat mode there. Now, if you are cooking for a large family and the 250 or the 350 grams of meat isn't going to be enough for you, you can do that 250 to 300 grams of chicken. take it out and pop it in a thermosaver, and then hit the back button and do another 250 to 300 grams. That's what we like to do in our house because we do like quite a bit of chicken in this dish, but that is up to you. You've got the noodles, you've got the veggies, so that might be enough. But if you do want to beef it up, just take it out, hit that back button and do it again. That's going to ensure a really even cook as well. So while that is going, as I said, I'm a very messy cook, guys, so bear with me. So we're going to move on to our tortillas. So our tortillas have had that little chance to rise. And you can see here, we've got it looking quite nice. It's fluffed up. You can see that air in it, which is really great. Now, I want you to cut it into those portions. So it did say 16. So whether you're making the wraps or the rotis, you can make as many as you like. Now, if you just wanted to make a half batch, you could do so, or you could freeze the other half of this for another day. That would work too. When you're using one of our beautiful thermomats, you don't want to ever use a knife on it, because if you pop a hole in it, then we don't want to use them anymore because they have fibers inside. But your spatula is your best friend for cutting dough. Sorry, I keep standing on a lid and flicking it around my floor. So I find the easiest thing to do is cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, and then cut in half. Now, mine are never even, and that's okay. I figure they look more homemade and rustic if they're not perfect. But now I've got my 8 little portions there, and then my other half of the dough over there. Now, if you're making roti, you may want to make them a little bit smaller and maybe just a tiny bit thicker than if you are making the flour tortillas or the wraps. So that is up to you guys. So again, guided cooking, make the changes. So you want to give it a little roll between your hands. And you'll notice that your thermomat has the centimeters on it. So it did say to 28 centimeters, which is our outer edge here. But I'm going to do some roti first. So I'm just going to go probably about 20 centimeters. I think is going to be plenty for this one. Just spinning it around. And if you're anything like me, you probably won't be great at getting them round. And again, that's okay. I think it gives you that more rustic homemade rather than that perfect machine store-bought. So when you're doing the wraps, you do want them to be quite thin. You do almost want to see through them. Your roti can be that little bit thicker, but something like that's going to look pretty good. Now we're just going to turn our stove on. Let that heat up for just a minute, and then we're going to pop that in. So remembering our recipe said, we want to put one of our roti or wraps into our hot stove on about that medium to high temperature. Then we want to cook it about a minute each side, or until we see some beautiful bubbles forming. Now the bubbles can take a minute or so. They will get quicker towards the end. And I don't know about you guys, but whenever I make something on the stove like pancakes, my first one's always a dud. So your first wrap or roti may also be a dud. Don't worry about that. It will taste fine still, even if it looks a bit different. So we're just going to throw that one into our pan on about a medium heat. And then we're going to repeat the process. So as you're cooking one, start rolling out your next one, and always have one ready to go into that fry pan when the other comes out. This is my French rolling pin from the mix shop. Now, when you guys purchase your Thermomix, after you've done your delivery with your consultant, you will get yourself a 10% mix shop voucher. Or if you would like to do a cooking experience after you've purchased, you will get yourself a 20% mix shop voucher. So great opportunity to take yourself to the mix shop and treat yourself to a few fun bits and pieces, like our French rolling pin or the mats or any of the other things that you've seen today. Now we've got some bubbles forming over here quite quickly. Hope you can see those bubbling up there nicely. So once they start to get quite a bit of air in them is when you're going to want to flip it around. And then repeat the process on the back. So the more bubbles it has in it, the better it's going to taste. It's going to be lighter and fluffier. That is looking very good. Now, because we wanted to make garlic roti tonight, what you can do is mix up a little bit of minced garlic, which I have made in my Thermomix. Minced garlic takes about 60 seconds to make, and you can store it in the fridge in a jar. And I've just got a little bit of ghee or butter in there. Mix that together. Look at that. We have just made ourselves some beautiful roti. There is an actual roti recipe on Cookie Do, but I do prefer using the flour tortillas. And then what I'm just going to do, just going to get a little bit of that garlic and ghee mixture. You could just leave it, but we're a big garlic loving household. So you could have plain roti. Then I'm going to do the garlic and the ghee. And I'm just going to find my salt. And you just want to do a little sprinkle with salt. And we have just made beautiful roti. How good does that look, guys? Pop it in the chat and let us know. Was that easier than you thought it was going to be? Is that something that interests you in making at home? If you already have a Thermomix, or if you don't, but you're thinking about getting one, do you think that's something that you would pop on your meal plan? There we go. Another one ready to go. I'll take my little stove off. And that is the perfect little side dish to your dinner. Now, the best thing to do is to keep these in your thermoserver, which keeps them warm and actually sweats them, which is going to help them to stay really, really soft. So that is a great place to pop them as you are cooking. But I'm using both my thermoservers, so I'm just going to pop it in a bowl for now with some paper towel over the top. If you don't have a thermoserver, that will be okay as well. We're just going to pop that dough to the side for now. I'm going to finish making those later. And again, if we wanted to turn those into wraps, so we don't need 16 roti in our house, because if we had 16 roti, we would eat them all with our dinner and then be very sick afterwards in a house of 4 people. So I would turn, maybe 8 of these into roti. So we've got 2 little pieces each. And that other 8 I would turn into the wraps for the week. So that is going to save me quite a lot of money by not having to buy a packet of wraps. You're looking at about $1.50 to make your own wraps versus at least $5 for a packet, not to mention all those nasty additives, preservatives that they put in them as well. So we are just going to pop that to the side. And as I said, this half can be frozen too, so you could keep that in the freezer for next time, whatever works. All right, so transfer into our thermal serving bowl. So we have some perfectly stir-fried veggies ready to go. How good do they look, guys? So they've still got colour to them. They're not soggy. They haven't been chopped up or anything like that. They are perfectly stir-fried. So we're just going to pop that into our bowl here. We're going to keep a little bit of that juice that was in there before in the bottom of our bowl as well. All right, so it says do not clean the mixing bowl. And I love it when it tells me not to clean the mixing bowl. It's one of my most favourite steps. So it wants 10 centimetres of fresh ginger, which we have here. So a really nice big piece of fresh ginger going in. And then 10 grams, I've got 14 grams, but that's fine. 10 grams of garlic cloves. Oh, my bowl's not quite in properly. Garlic cloves. And then we're going to lid on. Use my arm reaching in front. Then we've got 8 seconds, and it wants us to turn our speed selector all the way around to 7. Now you'll get to see the power of that chopping function in our Thermomix. So in that 7 or 8 seconds, We have perfectly chopped that garlic and that ginger. So I'd love to know, is fresh garlic or ginger something that you like to cook with? And do you find it quite painful to cut up if you are? Are you someone that grates it or chops it? I always love to think about how much time my Thermomix saves me from things like that I would have once done by hand that I no longer need to. So for those of you with kids, you might find veggies can be a bit tricky to get into your kids. So being able to chop down those carrots and zucchini, stuff like that, hide it in their food is really brilliant as well. So we're making our sauce now. So we've got 70 grams of tamari or soy. I'm just using soy sauce, which is similar. 30 grams of honey. My honey's a bit cold, so this one might take a minute. Forgot to tear my scales. Bear with me here, guys. So we're making our beautiful sauce here. Absolutely no nasties, no additives, preservatives, that kind of stuff. Just got those fresh ingredients going in. And this comes to a fraction of the price of your store-bought packet sauces as well. So 2 teaspoons of gluten-free corn flour. Light is very annoying. Hope you can see that okay. And then, oh, I jumped ahead. I know this recipe off by heart. 2 teaspoons of water going in as well. We're going to pop our lid on. And we've got 3 minutes and around to speed 4. Now I'm just going to drain our noodles. So you can use your simmering basket or your varoma to drain your noodles and your pastas. And look at that, we have our perfectly cooked noodles from our thermoserver. How great is that? If you are a Thermomix owner and you do have a thermoserver, pop it in the chat and let us know what your favourite uses are. So that is nearly done there. While that is cooking, I am just going to finish telling you a few bits and pieces. So our Thermomix has over 20 different modes and functions. Some of my favourite that you haven't seen tonight are our steaming function using that incredible varoma that you heard me talking about earlier. Got our emulsify function where you can make fresh mayonnaise, garlic aiolis, things like that in about 90 seconds. And then we can mince. So you can mince meat in your Thermomix in just 7 seconds. So another brilliant way to reduce the cost of your grocery bill by mincing your own meat. Now, we've talked quite a lot about Cookie Doo tonight, and I'd love to give you a quick little look over Cookie Doo. So Cookie Doo is our recipe platform, and as I said, there are 80,000 recipes from all over the world at the touch of your fingers there, which is just amazing. So there are about 10,000 English language recipes, and then we do have some from other parts of the world as well. But just to give you an idea, if you tried one new recipe every day, you'd have 27 years worth of recipes at your fingers, just English language alone, and not including the new amount of recipes they add. So just to give you an idea of how often Cookie Doo is updated, Cookie Doo, when I started as a consultant 3 years ago, had 42,000 recipes, and we just have cracked about 81,000. So it has doubled in just 3 years, which is amazing. So I'd love to think about how many more recipes will be on there in another 3 years. So Cookie Doo is a subscription service, and you guys can all sign up for a free 30-day trial at www.cookidoo.com.au. Sign up and start browsing and see some of the amazing recipes that are on there. Then after that, it is $69 a week for an annual subscription, which is less than $1.33 a week to access all of those incredible recipes, plus the meal plans and the shopping list, which I'll show you in just a sec. So then if you do purchase a Thermomix, you will get a 6-month subscription as well. So you'll get 6 months to try it out and love it, plus your 30 days. So you'll get 7 months to try it out and make sure it's for you before you have to commit to the $69 ADR. Now, I'm going to serve this up quickly because it is ready, and then I would love for you guys to stick around and let me take you through cookie dough for just a couple of minutes, because I know it's something that you are all going to love, because we all love it a lot. So I'm going to grab my bowl, a little bit of my noodles. And then we will look at that beautiful sauce in there. We can stir that through our chicken and our veggies in our thermo server. We can add it on afterwards, whatever suits you best. Give it a little stir through. So chicken and those veggies. I wish you could smell this, guys. I love virtual cooking experiences, but I do hate that you can't smell it. And then we could come up with some smell-o-vision, and you guys could get a real feel for the beautiful ginger and garlic and that fresh sauce. It just smells incredible. And then I sprinkle with some sesame seeds. I'm going to pop that thermoserver lid back on because that's going to keep that warm for 2 hours. And grab a bit of our garlic roti. Look how soft that is. You can just fold that up into a little soft serve. And how does that look? Ta-da! So we have made our chicken teriyaki stir fry in our TM6. We've got some of our noodles made in our thermoserver, and then we have our beautiful garlic roti. Soft, just absolutely delicious. But there we go. All right, give me a sec to switch computers. I'm seeing lots of great comments coming through in that chat box there, which is great. I'm glad you all think that that looks amazing. All right, so I just want you guys to stick around for a couple of minutes so I can show you cookie dough, because I know you're not going to be disappointed. I'm just going to bring it up and share my screen with you guys. So cookie dough is that recipe platform that is available on the screen of your Thermomix, on your phone as an app, or your computer as well. Now you see here, hello, Chelsea McGill, what would you like to cook today? So you can use your one login on all your different devices. So on your TM6, your phone, your website, whatever it is. And you'll see here, it does look just the same here as it does on your Thermomix. So I love to do my meal planning on my computer or my phone, because I find it easier. But when we, say get up in the morning and the kids feel like pancakes, I love that we can just search the screen of our TM6 and bring up that pancake recipe as well. So I would love to know, and I will get you guys to use the chat box here with me now. I would love to know, what is your favorite thing to eat? So is it something that you cook yourself, something that you get when you go out for takeaway? Is it, something that someone else makes you? What is your favorite dish? Pop it in the chat and let me know. Fajitas. Catherine loves fajitas. Fabulous. Thank you for answering that one. Keep them coming, guys. Pop a few different options in there for me. So when I search fajitas, we've got 14 different things relating to fajitas. Now, we are massive Mexican lovers in our house, and cookie dough definitely helps to curb my Mexican cravings with all of the amazing options. But you see here, we've got fajitas, we've got fajita seasoning, beef fajitas, fajita soup, We've got steak fajita sweet potatoes, chicken fried steaks, and then we start to deviate just slightly with some of the more Mexican sides. But this one here is one of the ones that I've done and I absolutely love it. So you can see here, cookie dough recipes have ratings. So you can actually rate cookie dough recipes depending on what you think of them. So you can see here that I have rated this 5 stars because I did absolutely love it. And 177 people have agreed with me. So if you're looking for something new, check out your ratings. Now we can have a look at this recipe, decide that it sounds good, and I'm going to add it to my weekly meal planner. So I'm going to add that to Monday. So we're going to have fajitas on Monday. Awesome. Great options coming through. So we've got a veggie lasagna. And what about a dessert, guys? What's your favorite dessert? Pop that in for me as well. So vegetable lasagna. So when I pop vegetable lasagna, we get some different options. We obviously have our regular lasagnas that come up. We have zucchini lasagna, vegan lentil lasagna, sweet potato lasagna. The list really just goes on and on. But then up here, we do have a vegetable lasagna that has a really great rating of 4.3 as well, and looks like it would tick all the boxes. So I'm going to add that one to my week on Tuesday. Now, I did see somebody suggest risotto. Now, if you didn't know, the Thermomix does make the most amazing risotto in about 20 minutes. And do you know what the best thing is? There is no hands-on time. So you do not have to stand there and stir the stove for 2 hours to make a beautiful risotto. You can just throw it in, walk away, come back 20 minutes later and have the most amazing risotto. I personally bought my Thermomix after a risotto fail when I was younger and still love making risotto in mine. So we've got 111 different kinds of risotto. We have risotto verde with spinach, bolognese. We have cheese, broccoli rub. This one here is a favorite in our house. We've got seafood risottos and pumpkin risotto. This one is also a favorite in our house. And 794 people also say it's a favorite in their house. So I'm going to add this one to my week for Wednesday. All right, lots of great desserts coming in, and I see that Nat has said sticky date pudding, and I'm going to have to go with Nat because I like to think that I am a sticky date pudding connoisseur. It is my jam and has been since I was little, and I have eaten sticky date pudding from lots of different places, and I can tell you hands down the Thermomix makes the best sticky date pudding you will ever eat, no comparison. So this one here is my favorite. It's just our standard sticky date pudding. We've got gluten-free, and then we have something a little bit different over here, which is our sticky toffee puddings. But this one here is just amazing, and 4.9 stars with 791 ratings. So it's safe to say it is perfect every time. So we can add this one to our week here. And then when I click on my week, you can see we've got our weekly meal planner. So over here, we have our dishes from tonight. Some of the dishes we're eating in our house. So tomorrow night, we're having mushroom and blue cheese stuffed flank steak. We've got a sticky sesame chicken, pork and broccoli pesto flatbreads. And then we've got the dishes we chose together. So our beef fajitas, I'm going to add to shopping list. Veggie lasagna, add to shopping list. Pumpkin risotto, add to shopping list. And of course, our sticky date pudding. When I scroll back up here and I click show ingredients, it collates my shopping list together. So for anybody who likes to go to the supermarket, go through and cross off what you already have in your pantry. So bicarb soda, I know I've got. Brown sugar, I know I've got. Raw sugar, I've got. I always have wine, guys. So just go through and mark off what it is that you do have in your pantry and leave on the things that you need to buy. So you can go through and work out what you've got. And then you can grab your phone, and this will be on your phone automatically when you're logged into your account. So you can just head around the supermarket and mark off the things as you pop them in your trolley. Or for those of you that are like me and are a little bit time poor and like to do online groceries, we can actually click order ingredients, and this is going to add your ingredients into your Woolies online cart and do your shopping for you. How does that sound? Is anybody doing online shopping at the moment? Pop it in the chat and let us know if you're doing online shopping. If you have a Thermomix, have you used this option before, or did you not know it existed? And if you don't have a Thermomix, do you think this is something that you would like to use? Now, I personally like to buy the Woolworths brand flour. So if I click the swap button, I can just go down and I can switch to Essentials flour. So keep going down and pick out the brands that you want. Make sure you've got the right bits and pieces in there. Like here, for example, it's given us bio cheddar cheese. That's your vegan cheese alternative. So I would just switch that for something different. So keep on going through and just make sure you're happy with all of those brands and the different bits and pieces that you get. Now, I do get asked a lot if it selects the most expensive brands, and it definitely does not. You can see here we've got some Woolies brands options. Sometimes you'll get organic. It really just depends on the size that your recipe is asking for. But we will say that we're happy with all of those and then click our add to cart. Sign into your Woolies online if you've already got one. If you don't already have one, you can create yourself an account. It is free. And now it's worked out, where I live and what is available in my store at the moment. So a lot of these are fresh ingredients, and being late at night, they're probably running out of things. So my local store doesn't have these few things. So I would just go find alternative. Now, at the moment, with everything that's going on, you may notice when you're at the shops, there is a little bit less than what we're used to. So, oh, I've hit the wrong button. Just click find alternative until you find something different that ticks the boxes. So instead of those tomatoes, I'm just going to go with diced tomatoes. So just go through and switch them out. I'm just going to hit ignore because you guys don't need to watch me do that many. And I don't normally get that many that it can't find. That was the most I've seen in a long time. But then I click the next button, and you do just need to log in again when you get back to this page. And then it has added all of those ingredients into our cart. Now, I think I forgot to clear my cart from when I did this the other day. So we are going to have a few extra bits and pieces in there. I better clear that before I do my actual groceries, or I'm going to end up with a lot of food that I don't need. I'm showing you guys, but you can see here is everything in your cart. I'm just going to skim down and just empty it before I forget. All in your cart, ready to go. And then because I do this every week, I just go into my lists, and then I go into my past shops, and then I bring up last week's shop, and I will add in my bananas, my apples, my milk, those things that I buy every week for the kids and myself. And then away we go. So then you can have them delivered to your doorstep, or you can do your click and collect, whatever it is that suits you. Does anybody have any questions about Cookie Dough or how that works? Ask away here or with your consultant, and we would love to answer them. And do you think that that is a feature that you would use if you did have a Thermomix on your bench? I'm just going to swap my camera back. Give me one sec. All right, keep those comments coming in the chat box here and with your consultant as well, guys, because we would love to hear what you thought of Cookie Dough if you had any questions. Now, as a thank you to those of you who invited some friends along tonight, please reach out to your consultant and they would love to help you out with your host reward. As I said, we did have those beautiful different options for you that you can get. And for anybody that is interested in hosting their own cooking experience virtually or in person, again, please reach out to your consultant because we would love to book that in for you. We do have so many great host rewards, and our glider board host reward is ending at the end of the month. So please reach out and get that locked in as soon as possible. Now, if you do choose to purchase a Thermomix off somebody in our team, we do want you to know that we are here for you every step of the way. So we are here to support you, to guide you, to make sure that you get the most out of your Thermomix, because we all really love our Thermomix and we want to make sure that you love yours as much as we love ours. So we are here to do as many cooking experiences as you like. When your Thermomix arrives, your consultant will do a FaceTime or an in-person delivery with you, depending on where you live and all that kind of stuff, and help you set it up and go through it and make sure you really understand how it all works and that you feel really comfortable before we set you off on your journey. We run cooking classes, so we run virtual cooking experiences, but we also run themed cooking classes every 3 weeks, and they are absolutely free on Zoom for you to jump on and learn a little bit more. And again, just make sure you feel really, really inspired. Then again, we are here for you every step of the way. So if you want to call us, text us, DM us, whatever it is, We are here for you whenever you need help. So please don't feel like you're bothering us, because it is our job. And as I said, we really do want to make sure that you get the most out of your Thermomix. Now, thinking back to that first question that I asked you tonight, and it was, when it comes to food and cooking in general, what is most important to you? We had healthy, simple, fast, creative, or saving money. Now that you've seen the Thermomix in action, do you think that it could tick some of those boxes in the kitchen for you if you did have a Thermomix as your second set of hands on your kitchen bench? Pop it in the chat here or with your consultant for us. Now, back to our price page. So the price of the TM6 is $2,359, and it does include all those green accessories that you saw earlier and that we have been talking about. So again, we have lots of different payment options to help you get a Thermomix on your bench if that is what you choose to do. And now my favorite is that you can do what we do, and you can join our amazing team, and you can actually earn yourself a Thermomix. For those of you that already have a Thermomix, you can also join our team and start earning commissions straight away. Something a little bit different, bit of a side hustle. We all know we all need something like that at the moment. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to your consultant or to somebody in the team, and they would love to answer that for you. We also have that interest-free finance. We currently have 36 months interest-free finance running, and that's just running for a couple more weeks now. So please don't delay if that is something that interests you. Again, reach out to your consultant, and that will get a brand new TM6 on your bench, which is $16.96 a week, or about $2.40 a day, which is less than half a cup of takeaway coffee. Now, you'll hear us talk a lot about how you can save money with your Thermomix, but to give you guys an idea, in our household, we had a TM31, which was the dinosaur Thermomix, which I thought was pretty great. And you really couldn't make yogurt in it. It was really hard and failed most of the time. And my consultant convinced me to upgrade to make yogurt in the TM5, which was out at the time. So we went from spending $30 a week on yogurt to spending about $4 a week. So my finance was covered just by my yogurt saving alone. And that doesn't even count all the other amazing ways that we save money with our Thermomix. If I was to sit down and actually figure out how much money I save every week, it would just be astronomical. So I do want you to know that we really can show you how to make the most out of your Thermomix and save a lot of money as well. We did also have the Easy 3, which is sorry, my phone's going flat. Easy 3, which is 3 payments over 60 days. We do also have Afterpay, and then, of course, our one-off payment of credit card, debit card, bank transfer, whatever it is. Now, we have our mix shop, which is having a sale at the moment, so you can jump on and purchase some fun things. So you do get everything you need to get you going on your Thermomix journey. But if you do decide to purchase some other bits and pieces, you cannot get on there to get some fun things. And as I said, after you do a delivery or a cooking experience, you will get yourself a 10 or 20% off discount voucher as well. So please ask your consultant about that too. Now, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat box here with myself or with your consultant, because we would love to answer them. And I would like to say a huge thank you to everybody who came along and joined us tonight. I hope that you learned something new. I hope that you're inspired to try this beautiful chicken teriyaki dish that we have here. Or I hope that if you have been thinking about a Thermomix, that we have showed you just how amazing it can be as your second set of hands in your kitchen. So please ask us any questions, because we would love to answer them. Keep your eyes peeled for our next class. We'll have a virtual class in about 2 weeks on Zoom as well, so please look out for that. And again, thank you so much, everybody, and a huge thank you to my amazing team for inviting you all along tonight. It was so nice to see you all, and I will hopefully see you all soon.